Hey guys, this is Sarah, and today I am talking about my 15 most anticipated books of 2015. It's officially January, and so I thought it'd be great to talk about all the books that are being published this year that I'm very, very anxious to read. Some of these books are ends of a series, some of them are continuations, some of them are standalones, and some of them are beginnings of series that I just can't wait to get my hands on. Just like my top 14 books of 2014 video, I said most people don't talk about the books in particular order, but I do. This list goes from excited to a little bit excited to incredibly excited for their release. I'm only going to talk about a brief snippet of this book synopsis, but again, I'll be leaving the links to Goodreads so you can read them for yourself and see if you'd like to check out these books. Without further ado, let's get started. In spot number 15 is The Memory Key by Leanna Liu. This is a science fiction dystopian book that centers around this girl who is living in a world where Alzheimer's is revamped. A very common disease is surrounding her world. It's a very fast-acting Alzheimer's, which I'm guessing it to mean that it takes your memories away very, very quickly. To keep herself from forgetting, she has a memory key implanted in her brain, a little chip that helps her keep her memories correct. But because of an accident, this memory key is damaged, and her memories end up being jumbled and very confusing. Then she has a recollection of the night of her mother's disappearance, which makes her believe that it was not disappearance, in fact, it was a murder. This sounds very, very interesting. I love the setting of this book. The premise looks very, very interesting. This book comes out March 3rd. In spot number 14 is Every Last Word by Tamara Ireland Stone. This book is a contemporary romance dealing with mental health issues, particularly obsessive-compulsive disorder. It's about a girl named Sam who has this disorder and does everything in her power to keep people from knowing about it. She is in a constant struggle, obsessing over every single facet of her day and obsessing over no one knowing that she's having this obsession. I am super interested in this book, mostly because someone very close to me has obsessive-compulsive disorder, and I've never read a book that highlights this type of mental disease. And so I'm very interested to read it and find out how it's being portrayed. This book comes out June 16th. In spot number 13 is Half Wild by Sally Green. This is the sequel to Half Bad, which released this year. It is a paranormal fantasy about witches. I have not read the first book, but I am incredibly interested in reading it. Hopefully, after this book comes out, to read the first two in a row, because one thing that I hate more than anything in the world is the waiting for books. So I think as soon as I buy the second one, I will be reading the first one and reading them in order. This book comes out March 25th. In spot number 12 is Hold Me Like a Breath by Tiffany Schmidt. This is a contemporary thriller, and I just found out that it is also a retelling of The Princess and the Pea. This is about a girl who has grown up around the mafia, and it just sounds really interesting. I don't know how The Princess and the Pea is going to come into that, but I'm very interested and intrigued to find out how mafia and The Princess and the Pea can morph together. This book comes out May 19th. In spot number 11 is All the Rage by Courtney Summers. This is a contemporary mystery thriller. I'm not going to talk about the synopsis, but I will say that this book deals with the shame and silence that is inflicted upon young women who have been victims of sexual assault. Something that is very near and dear to my heart because I have various friends who have been sexually assaulted by different people. Although what I read of Courtney Summers I did not specifically enjoy, I really, really did like her writing style. So I'm very interested to see if I will like this book more. This book comes out April 14th. In spot number 10 is The Orphan Queen by Jodi Meadows. This is the first book in a new high fantasy romance series. I know pretty much nothing about this book except that the cover is gorgeous and it's high fantasy, which kind of makes me want to read it just because of that. I know, not very good, but I know a lot of people enjoyed Jodi's New Soul series, and though I haven't read that yet, I think I'm going to do that coming this year, so I'm very looking forward to this book. In spot number 9 is A Court of Thorn and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. This is a high fantasy romance, and also it's supposed to be a retelling of Beauty and the Beast with fairies. Now, I haven't read any Sarah J. Maas, but I am fixing that this month. But I've heard a lot of great things of her as an author and of her Throne of Glass series, and the plot of this book really intrigues me. So I'm very excited to dive into it. This book comes out May 5th. In spot number 8 is Magonia by Maria Davana Headley. That's a very hard name, and I hope I say it right. If I didn't, I'm sorry. This is a high fantasy science fiction romance that I am not ashamed to say I've only found out about it because of the cover. I saw it on Epic Reads, and the gorgeousness of this cover sold me. I don't need to know anything else because it's just so beautiful. But after I read the plot, I was very interested and intrigued. Not going to talk much about it, but check out the link for the Goodreads page to see more. This book comes out April 28th. In spot number 7 is Shadow Study by Maria V. Snyder. This is a high fantasy romance companion series to her Study series and her Glass series. The Study series is very well known, and I am so excited. I am rereading and reading the first 3 books in the Chronicles of Ixia, which is the big series that this small series called the Soul Finder series is going to be a part of. It's going to be the 3rd companion series in the Chronicles of Ixia series. I am so excited. You have no idea. This book comes out February 24th. In spot number 6 is An Amber in the Ashes by Saba Tahir. I hope that's how you say your name. I'm sorry. This is a 5 fantasy science fiction dystopian romance. It is so much stuff. Again, cover love. This cover is gorgeous. Again, saw it on Epic Reads and I absolutely adored it. I cannot wait to dive into this. Apparently it's a standalone, which gives me that much more excited to have it in my hands, because having so many elements in only one book giving you everything, I hope it satisfies my curiosity because it just sounds so good. This book also comes out April 28th. In spot number 5 is All Fall Down by Ali Carter. This is a contemporary mystery thriller with some espionage. Again, I say this all the time, Ali Carter is one of my favorite authors. Her Gallagher Girls series is one of my favorite series of all time. And this is somewhat similar to that. I read an excerpt, I don't even know when, but I am very excited to dive into this new series of hers. It's promising to be just as good, if not even better, than the Gallagher Girls series. This book comes out January 27th. In spot number 4 is A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab. This is a historical fiction, science fiction novel based in a parallel London. I am so excited. I actually received an excerpt from NetGalley of this book, and I haven't sat down to read it yet because I want to read it a little bit closer to its release, which is in February, so probably by the end of this month or the beginning of February, I will be reading that excerpt to get even more pumped. But V.E. Schwab, or Victoria Schwab, is slowly but surely becoming one of my favorite authors. I've only read 1 book from her, and it made it into my top 3 of top 14 books of 2014. So you can bet I am super pumped for this book. This book comes out February 24th. Moving to the top 3 books, in spot number 3 is Return to the Dark House by Lori Farias Dollars. This is the second and last book in the Dark House duology. The first book being Welcome to the Dark House, which made it into my top 14 books of 2014. This is a horror thriller book, and the first book left us in a cliffhanger, and I am so pumped and scared at the same time to figure out what's going to happen. Like, there needs to be a character reunion. Like, I don't want to say too much if you haven't read the first book, but go do it and you will understand my feelings and why it's so high on my list. This book does not come out until July 21st. In spot number 2 is The Sword of Summer by Rick Riordan. This is the first book in his Norse mythology middle grade series. I mean, it's Rick Riordan. Like, how can I not be excited for this? It follows what everyone seems to think is Annabeth's cousin, Max, from Boston. Like, come on now. It's Rick Riordan. This book comes out October 6th. And my most anticipated book of this new year is Ensnared by A.G. Howard. This is the last book in the Splintered trilogy, which is a paranormal fantasy retelling of Alice in Wonderland. The second book left us in a huge cliffhanger, and I'm so excited to finally get to the finale of this great trilogy. Some people I know have already read it because they got ARCs, and I'm so anxious to be able to buy this book and read it and devour it. I'm pretty sure I'm going to buy it as soon as it comes out and, like, eat it, even if it's not on my TBR. This book comes out January 6th, which is in, like, a few days. So, I am excited, I am pumped, and bless the gods of books, because there will also be a novella that is going to be placed between the second and third book after the third book comes out, so I won't have such a giant book hangover. Like, I'll still have something extra to, like, fall back on and not die. So that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know your most anticipated books of 2015. Maybe we share some, who knows? Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!